Hello my friends, and let's review the latest update that is coming from the Bakhmut area. We have a success today. We moved like 500 up to 600 meters on the north part of this front line. The Wagner leader and the popular Russian blogger nowadays, Prigozhin, calls that Russian regular army again left their positions. He claims that Ukraine was able to move forward by 570 meters, and we did it near to Sako-Ivatseti village. Let's go and check the timeline. It was yesterday and it is today. Really not a dramatic movement, but it happened very close to this village. Plus, as you can see that there is the Bakhmut river in that area, it is quite narrow at that particular spot, so we may use this village as the point to start the offensive across that river. Bakhmut river is important because it goes all across the Krasnohora and the Bakhmut city itself. So we probably found the best place to penetrate this natural obstacle, and by doing so we may go to Soledar. Before there was the assault vector also from this direction by Ukrainian forces near to Vesela. However, now I don't see this attack. Probably it was wrongly reported, and now this is for sure the direction of the Ukrainian counterattack, and it moves towards the Soledar city. Russia probably sent some reinforcements from that area, and we push them on the north to keep their forces in that area. So probably it also could be the secondary vector of the counterattack. But as you can see from this military map, there are lots of the other vectors in that area. And today we expanded or extended the area that is confirmed under Ukrainian control. We may go also to the timeline. It was yesterday and it is today. So you may see more blue area. It means that it's clear of the Russian soldiers. However, this front line was corrected, and I assume that Russia is still controlling this forest line over here, but it's just temporary. Why it's still hard to move for us? Because there is one more river over here that divides the front lines. So we were able to penetrate it over here, and the fighting is ongoing in this forest, but on the south direction still we are not capable to move forward because of that natural obstacle. So we need the new engineering equipment that is crucial for the successful counterattack, and without going forward in this area we cannot take Klishivka. Other than this small river, I don't see the huge obstacles for Ukrainian army to advance to Klishivka. So if we move over here, it will take not a lot of the days to get close to Klishivka, or probably even hours. By the way, Prigozhin didn't say the bad words towards the Russian military command. He just asked for more ammunition very politely. It really depends on his temper. I think that he is psychopath. Also, some of the Russian Turbo Z patriots are calling him psychopath as well. Other than that, there were no any changes on the front lines, which is good for now. About the future Ukrainian counterattack, how many days are left in May? 12 days. So I think that the counterattack could be still performed during the May time, and President Zelensky said today in his address to Ukrainian people that it was the major meeting today with the military and they're getting ready for it. He told that he cannot open the details of it, but the preparation is very successful, and we should wait for the good news coming in the following days. The last night Russia fired lots of the cruise missiles on Ukrainian territory, plus couple of the caliber missiles that were shot down by the Patriot systems, and also one of the caliber cruise missiles just landed in Kerch, the Crimean territory over here. It happened because of the missile malfunction, and it's not the first time that Russia is bombing their controlled territory. And this cruise missile was shot down near to the Kiev. As you can see, it landed after it was hit to someone's yard, and it didn't explode, luckily. More news coming from Crimea. One more Russian train went off the railways because they were damaged by some sort of the explosion. This is not a military train. You may see the standard wagons for agriculture, and some of the grains just spilled from one of the wagons. In general, it's not a significant damage to the Russian supply line, and they will spend just a few hours to repair that part of the road. Unfortunately, it's like that. The railroad could be repaired very fast if it doesn't go across the Kerch Bridge. The Institute of the War Researches publishes the map of the Bakhmut city itself. Unfortunately, we can see the movement of the Wagner forces inside the city. Still, there is the part of the district that continued to resist, and probably it will hold for a few more days. Because we have the supply lines in that area. And there even the small area in the city itself where Ukrainian forces advanced few days ago, but Russia moved forward in this area too. The article about the possible Ukrainian counteroffensive action published in Financial Times resource, they say that the future 5 months will be critical for the outcome of this war. They say that there is the chance for Ukraine to fail this mission, and in that case Ukraine wouldn't have enough support from the allies as we have right now. Allies would see that there is no perspective for Ukraine to win this war and will push us for some sort of the negotiation with Russia. But knowing the Ukrainian armed forces and equipment that we obtained, I have no doubt that this counterattack, the future one, would be successful. Yes, we'll not liberate all of the Ukrainian territory, but indeed will move forward for many kilometers. And after, our allies will give us more weaponry, including the fighter jets, and in that case we're gonna push Russians more. Two contradicting articles were published in the press today, one from the New York Times saying that the United States are slowing down the preparation of Ukrainian pilots to operate the F-16 airplanes. The other article from Politica says that negotiations are ongoing between Ukraine, United States and other allies for the plane deal, and there is the great chance that we'll have those airplanes even this year. So the media resources are very interesting. It really depends on the person who writes the article sometimes. From what we see, after President Zelensky attended Netherlands, Germany, France, United Kingdom, the talks about the fighter jets rose again, and it will be the international coalition, the fighter jet coalition, created. And maybe not only with F-16s. Remember the situation with the tanks, like everyone blamed Germany that they don't want to give the tanks, but in a couple of weeks they gave the tanks, and even more than we expected. The same goes for the United States of America. Some of the information is really hidden behind the curtain, but I am sure that the political decision was already made to transfer the fighter jets to Ukraine. Alright, Russia sent some of the fighter jets in the Minsk airfield. Also, they start to build the defense lines on the southern part of Belarus. The defense lines are same with what they've built on the southern part of Ukraine. Some information coming from the United States, they say that the Patriot system that was damaged because of the Russian recent missile attack on Kyiv was repaired and now in use. Those are awesome news, and I do believe in that, even though we were not presented with video or photo evidence of the accident. But based on the yesterday's attack, we saw the Patriot system in operation again. Norway will send to Ukraine 3 artillery raiders Arthur plus 8 rocket artillery systems like M270. And on this picture you can see the Italian track, but basically the same model will be given to Ukraine by Norway. There was the internal check in Pentagon of how many weaponry they supply to Ukraine and how much does it cost, and they realized that they overestimate the price of their weaponry. They have the excess of $3 billion, so for that they will supply more help to Ukraine. Putin's bunker was found in his residence close to the Black Sea in Gelendzhik city. So here are 3 entries to the bunker. According to the resources, Putin is capable to spend there few weeks with all of the supplies he got. So there are two tunnels, one is the upper one and the other one is lower tunnel with moving walkway to the beach, and beach is over here. And there is also the elevator that Putin may use just from his residence building out there, and he may go to upper tunnel or to the lower tunnel. I wonder if the United States have enough weaponry to penetrate that area. We don't have the skill, so I wonder how deep this tunnel really is. Well, anyways, there could be just 3 of the bombs dropped. One is here, the other is over here, and the one is on elevator. In that case, you can close the rat in the rat trap. Interesting. First riots in Russian factory, which is called UAZ factory. They produce the vehicles out there for civilians and also for military. They simply do not have the salary for a very long time. For 3 months they were paid for around 20,000 rubles. That is roughly $300, so they live for $100 per month. Alright, I've just visited the Russian resource, and here you can see that Ukraine counterattack is more significant. They show that we are very close to Klishivka. So this is the border and Klishivka is over here. I think that we are a few hundred meters away. And on the north they confirmed the movement of Ukrainian army towards the south, probably to Solidar direction over here. Well, what can I say? That there is the huge advancement of Ukrainian army. Slowly, but we are taking the ground. Probably we're gonna receive many more news in a nearby future. I think that Ukraine sends more reinforcements to that area because we were able to penetrate the Russian defense. And basically the Russian regular army just runs away. It's bad for Prigozhin's army as well, because we may encircle them in Bakhmut if this situation continues for a very long time for them. It's awesome, but more awesome news we'll receive very soon. Then Ukrainian counterattack will start, and as I say to you, I'm sure that it will be successful. Again, I'm not great fan of the Ukrainian counterattack because I know that it will bring more losses to Ukrainian army, but there's always a chance for Russia to just leave their positions and run as they usually do. So I expect it, and I hope that it will be like that. There is a very interesting document published by the United States Department of the Air Force. As you remember, some of the Ukrainian pilots were sent for the training on F-16s just to try it out. It was some sort of the assessment whether Ukrainian pilots would be able to train on F-16s. So there were 2 of the Ukrainian pilots. One is the captain, type rated on Sukhoi Su-27, and major, type rated on MiG-29. 3 of the United States instructors performed that training. If you see 2,200 hours on F-16, that's a lot, because the flight time is usually not that long for the fighter jet. It means they have lots of the landings and takeoffs. Unlike in commercial aviation, then most part of your flight is the straight horizontal flight. So those guys, those instructors are very experienced. So here we have the objectives to determine the skills and perform the assessment. Observe Ukrainian pilots to aid the development in special syllabus training material for the future pilots. To determine an accurate timing and timeline to transition to the Western jets. Informally assess English language aptitude of Ukrainian pilots. That could be the biggest problem. So here they describe the procedure of the training mostly on the simulator, as you may see. But what is interesting, that both Ukrainian Air Force pilots demonstrate above average progression on tasks given to them by the observing instructor pilots. That is what I tell you, my friends. Actually, we have a good school for the military training of Ukrainian pilots. Then there were the COVID times. I went for the general aviation, and there were cadet pilots, and they knew more than I was a cadet pilot. Here they speak about the different patterns of approach. The low-level flying was above average. Again, both pilots quickly adapted to increased task load in a low-level environment of southern Arizona, as demonstrated in the simulators. So mostly, yes, they've flown in simulators. I wonder if just the simulator training was conducted, but the modern day simulators are very advanced, and that is we as commercial pilots also have to pass our skill tests every year, our simulator checks and license proficiency checks, and basically there is no huge difference in operations of the flight sim compared to the real aircraft. They say that most of the pilots are unfamiliar with FAA DOD instrument procedures. Well, indeed, because it's the FAA American regulations, they were not told before. Probably they hadn't had a theoretical course before attending this training. So what we see here in this document, which is very crucial, the most important part of all of those pages, that conclusion for this objective, that the requirement to develop a specialized syllabus, the program for the training, will be only focused on minimum required tasks, because our pilots know lots of the tasks, but still there are some things about the airplane in particular that our pilots may not know, and for that they have to spend 4 months in a realistic training timeline, including the real airplane. So this is the official documents, and we expect our pilots to go on a training next month. So till autumn we'll have all of our pilots ready to fly. I wonder how this document went to the press, but actually from what I can see, it's a real one. I've read tons of the aviation documents in English, lots of the manuals. I was typewritten on many of the airplanes. I went through lots of the training procedures, and this language and abbreviations that they use, it's a real one. They also stated that the additional formal language training will be required for our pilots. Yes, it's the vague spot. But again, they say that it will not take more than 3 weeks period in a classroom instruction for formal grade simulator event. So basically, the English itself as the language is not a big issue. The big issue is to understand the abbreviations and all of the systems in English. And 3 weeks should be enough for that. Our guys do not need to be very professional in English, because they're quite limited with their military tasks. They are not the commercial pilots. But they need to read and understand the manuals that are written in English. That's why there should be a 3-week introduction course for that especially. So including this special English course, it should be 4 up to 5 months of training. I think depends on the current English proficiency. If you know English well, it's 4 months for you. If you need the special course for 3 weeks, it will be 5 months. And don't listen to those who say that we'll not have the Western airplanes in Ukraine. We'll have them very soon. By the way, the full document I'll publish on my Telegram channel, so please subscribe for me over there as well. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation in Ukraine. Now please press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my job, please go to the video description just below. There you may find the links that will help you to do it. You may also support me on Patreon or just on the sponsorship on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your awesome help and your awesome support. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.